All right, we got a notification that said you are live, and
Live.
that little red little icon means we're live. I don't see too many faces just waiting for us to go. Of course, if you're waiting at 7:30, we're 23 minutes late, but we're excited to be on tonight. That's right, Into the Lab podcast coming at you Wednesday night. Ernest Silva is your host, hopefully one of your favorites, and we're excited on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. So we're hoping to catch some of y'all tonight. Again, brought to you by the mothership Blue Collar Media Group, where you can find them on www.bluecollarmg.com. Keep a lookout for that revamped website, guys. We're going to show all of our shows, all of our streamers on that website in just a couple of weeks. It looks fantastic. I can't wait for that. We're going to introduce the guys right now and the gal, and a special guest coming with the gal as well. So stay tuned, announcer. Why don't you bring us in, route? All right. If you heard that announcer, you're going cuckoo in the Cavessa. We do not have an announcer live on this show. That would be for our podcast guest. I suggest to go get checked. But let's start off with the man with the plan. That is right. Very own BCMG owner at Steel Curtain PEH, Just Paul.
What's up, Ernest? Back from a little hiatus, ready to talk some sports, and great to see Danny here again. I'm just ready to have a good time tonight.
Oh, we're gonna have a real good time, and I'm glad you brought him in next. That's right, at Sports Stories DL, our special guest tonight, Denny Lennon.
That's right, Ernie. We talked about this before. You're going to bring me in as a 2-time Telly Award winner.
Oh, I should have.
Denny Lennon. Okay, it's all right. I far be it for me to bring it up, but I am repping, as you see, with my banner in the background and on my chest, a 17-time champion, Los Angeles Lakers. We're here to do battle in the NBA trivia.
I should have picked a Lakers segment just to talk about LeBron and the early exit. Darn it. We should have talked about it.
That's
but
all right.
Denny, I apologize. 2 times. I'll get you at the end for sure. 2-time Telly winner, Denny Lennon, gracing us with his presence.
Good. That sounds good, Ernie.
The West Coast BCM branch. That's what I'm going to call you right there.
All right.
Excited to have you, Denny. Also, of course, the sweetest voice on ITL joining us, putting her face on, Ashley Garcia.
Hi, Ernest. So glad to be back and joining the guys. I do have a miniature co-host that will be joining and gracing us with her presence shortly. So excited to have her on as well as my +1.
I really might be excited more to see AJ than any other host besides Denny in my life on this show. So I really can't wait to see AJ and have this conversation with her. But we're excited to have both of y'all on. Matter of fact, I'm going to create a banner as we're talking. But we got a great lineup today, guys. We're going to go through some NBA draft prospects. We're going to talk about some NBA headlines, drop a little tortoise and hare story for you, and then go into the infamous ITL NBA trivia. We're going to kind of show you guys, if it's your first time watching it, what that entails and how you can win some gift cards this NFL season.
Nice.
So we got the basketball expert. You got some sports scientists willing to go battle against him. So let's get into it. Announcer, ring that bell. Let's get round 1 started. That's the bell. We're going to start off with the NBA Draft Command Center. That's right. I made that up. But we're going to talk about 3 prospects we have listed for today. And round 1 is brought to us by the infamous Taquito Express. That's right. Taquito Express down in the beautiful Brownsville, Texas. And I'm glad we bring up Brownsville, Texas, because that is a great segue before we start our round 1 analysis to say the BCMG retreat is on. Paul is here. We're excited. We're hyped up. Guys, the BCMG retreat will be big down in South Texas. So if you're a listener, if you're a viewer, come check us out. Taquito Express, the bar down in Brownsville, Texas. We're also going to play some basketball games with Triple Double Basketball Academy. We're going to have some fun down there. And I am wearing an NFL jersey with the Silver Surfers because they're making their debut in the BCMG Fantasy Football League. That is right. 20 of us are going to be together Sunday, the 22nd, down in Harlingen, Texas, where we draft our teams live. And trust me, it is going to be a lot of shit talking. It's going to be a lot of strategy. All these guys know what they're doing, and sponsorships are on the line. So we're excited, guys. Paul, do you want to add anything about the retreat?
No, I mean, we're just all getting it together right now. I can't wait to get all the guys together. It's been a kind of a dream since we started this. Right before COVID hit the last, 2 years ago now, Ernest. Me, Ernest, and Steve met up in Boston and it's kind of just always been our dream to do this, and it's come together over the last 2 years to this point, and now we're going to meet up and discuss how we're going to take this thing even further. So it's going to be fantastic. We're going to have a great time. A few alcoholic beverages will be passed around, a few microphones, and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. We finally get to meet all in person. I think that's the biggest part of this, from Butthole Podcast in Minnesota to Call Your Shot and Boomtown Pod in Canada, even our streamers on the East Coast, and of course the infamous The General Steve Reisner coming down to South Texas. You're gonna laugh at what our shirt quote is gonna be, and I'm not gonna give it away yet till I have one and I can put it on screen. But we are very excited to have this retreat. So come out and see us, right? We'll be live. We'll be posting. So come out and see us. Let's jump right into it, guys. NBA Draft Central. Today we talk about some Texas kids, and we're really going to talk about Kai Jones first, the power forward out of Texas. We have our video crew make a highlight reel for him, so I will go ahead and cue that video and put that together. And we'll talk during the highlight, because I think through StreamYard we have some of those inabilities to hear the audio. But let's break down some of the film and talk about a comparison you have for Kai Jones. Super athletic individual. And somebody who, of course, being in Texas, that I've been able to really follow. So as I'm pulling it up, guys, do you have any insight on Kai Jones?
You got it, Paul.
I kind of think he could be LaMarcus Aldridge type player. A 15-10 guy. There's some parts where he lacks. That jumper, that mid-range jumper, stuff like that. But in the NBA, his effort should get him a 15-10 every night. I would think he could be one of those guys. I don't think he'll ever be like a superstar, but he could be a very, very valuable piece on a championship team. So
when I think about Kai Jones, he came in as an Olympian. So he actually competed for the trials when he was in the Bahamas. And he did good work. I'll replay this video. He did really great work with his speed. That's why he's so fast and lengthy, is because of his track abilities. Didn't pick up basketball till he was 16. So his shot is unorthodox. He has a very unique shot process. But man, when you watch him go up and down the court and he's exploding to the rim, just a different athlete. And he started off coming off the bench for Texas this past season and ended up being a starter over Greg Brown, who's another player we're going to talk about today. But right now projected to go to the Warriors at 14 on many mock drafts. Denny, with familiarity on the West Coast teams, just do you see him as one of those guys that could really break the starting rotation for Golden State?
I don't know, and it might take a little bit of development time. But one of the things you got to remember, there's another Hall of Famer, an all-time great, that came to the game a little bit late, and he came from another sport. He came from soccer, and that was Hakeem Olajuwon. Now, Hakeem, one of the things about coming a little bit late is you don't develop as many bad habits. I know a lot of coaches, kind of like clue in on that on different sports, that sometimes when you do get an international player that has developed their athleticism in another sport and they can teach them from that point forward, they don't have to coach out of them some of their bad habits. And so I think that might well wear in his favor well. The other thing about it is one of the things that's always played well in the NBA is quirky, odd, or unique. Like if you do something that other players haven't traditionally seen, if you can do it well, that tends to play a little bit. And that's where I kind of see him playing into that. So we'll see what he does on his first couple of years. But I got a feeling by about year 3, it's going to pay off. Draft him around 14, maybe even higher.
When you say odd or quirky, I think of Sean Marion immediately, right? That shot is just so unorthodox that you just kind of have to watch it. You don't really want to foul the guy. It's right in front of his face. He has a similar shot. It looks like he's going to pump fake in front of himself, and then he kind of bends it backwards and shoots it right here. Almost Dwight Howard free throw like, but not quite.
Not quite as bad.
Not quite unforgiving. And so I really like it. He explosive. I asked the guys if they watch the Clutch Pro Day. If you didn't watch the Clutch Pro Day, some of these guys were featured. Jericho Sims, also shout out to Jericho Sims, had a fantastic pro day there. But 2 Texas kids. Let's talk about a Texas kid who kind of fell in the draft rankings because he didn't have a very successful season, and that's Greg Brown. Greg Brown is a guy who came in with tons of talent, was top 10 in a lot of boards, and comes into Texas and loses his starting spot by the end of the year. And that was not exactly what he wanted to do. We take a look at his highlights, though. Definitely a ton of talent when you look at Greg Brown. Guy is explosive to the rim. He has a ton of potential. He has energy all over the place. The problem was, though, his feel for the court was just off a bit, and it was not as needed as what Shaka Smart was going for. Paul, when you look at Greg Brown, this is a guy who I really see those tendencies like a LaMarcus Aldridge with the shooting capability, but he's just not as big. How do you feel about Greg Brown?
I watched a lot of Big 12 basketball, and I was just kind of disappointed with how his year went. Really kind of thought he was going to have a big year for them. And like you said, he loses his starting spot. And just like you said, there's just times when he's out there and he just looks lost. So I don't know how that really translates to the NBA, being part of a team and everything like that. I don't know. I don't know if he can pull it together in the NBA after losing a spot at Texas, but I mean, the raw athleticism and everything that he has, I mean, somebody's going to take a chance on him, but I don't think it'll be until late in the first round, right? I mean, 20 is maybe.
Yeah, I think that's it. The high 20s is where they have him listed right now. Denny, you've seen some of these highlights. I don't know how familiar you are with Greg Brown, but how do you feel about a product like that from Texas?
One of the things about being, the one thing you can't coach is that kind of crazy athleticism, right? Like if what got on Shaka's nerves was either attitude, lack of knowledge of the system, whatever it might have been, that always can improve. But the one thing you're going to take a flyer on is athleticism. And he certainly has that. Also, maybe that not, being reduced from the starting lineup, maybe that got into his head a little bit, and it's going to give him a checkpoint so that he'll come in a little more humble and he'll be ready to play ball because he's going up a level. But, just it's evident his athleticism, and somebody's going to take a flyer on that one.
Yeah, I like what you're talking about, and it was a common conversation, right? You can't teach athleticism, but you could teach skills, right?
Yep.
Very familiar with the Hakeem Olajuwon aspect of things. That's why basketball players try to go pro to certain positions when it comes to the NFL, and why some players go to MLB, because you have that athleticism, you have the capability of being a top level world class athlete. This last player obviously is not unknown to the world, but that's Luka Garza, and Luka Garza has been that really troubling piece, a man who could fit the college atmosphere, but not so much the NBA. The translation says he's going to be going down at the bottom of the second round if drafted. Denny, I'll start with you on this one. Not exactly a fan favorite or an analyst favorite for Luka Garza, but what do you see in him when you look at his highlights?
Where did I think we saw him, in NCAAs? Maybe did they go 2 rounds, 3 rounds in Iowa?
Yeah,
2.
3 rounds.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
2?
Yeah.
2? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, either way.
It was early, yeah. Earlier than what they wanted.
I'm not seeing anything that excites me, even in the second round. He just doesn't seem fast enough. And that said, a lot of people might have said that about different, like Doncic or a few people that are succeeding in the league now. People might have said the same thing. So I didn't really get enough time to see a lot of them. But when I did watch him in the NCAAs, what jumped out at me was he just doesn't seem fast enough to play NBA.
Yeah, that's a spot on analysis. I think what reminds me of him is just a really poor man's Nikola Jokic, but not the same ability. Obviously, he's young and he needs time to develop. But if he got the opportunity, maybe you could groom him into that. Paul, when you see Garza playing here, led his team, right? Iowa wouldn't be anything without him. So what do you see when you see Luka Garza?
Well, that's my big thing with him. If you're going to take him, I think you're taking him for his leadership and locker room type guy. Like, he's a guy that could, get in where he fits in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not going to be, something crazy, but he could get off your bench and he could, give you some valuable minutes, maybe be a rim protector. But in today's NBA, like, where does he play? Like, where does he play is the problem. Like,
right.
You can't just stick him down at a center and, expect him to be covering these guys that are, stretch 3 and 4s. Like, you can't, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Ash, I haven't called on you on any of these. I'm not sure if you're back yet, but did you have any opinion on any of these players?
Yeah, definitely. I was just going to chime in on Luka Garza as well. I think whoever or wherever he does fit in, he would definitely be an asset. I know the NBA doesn't compare at all to the college basketball, but I think, averaging 24-ish points each game, that's going to be an asset to any team. So
that's a good input there, Ash. I agree. I think Luka was fantastic. The system fit him. We found Davis. Davis says Greg Brown is raw talent, a smaller Jackson Hayes, which I do not disagree with. We'll spend the first season or 2 in the G League. I do think he's a project. If you're going to bring him up, he's going to take some time. But is he going to be worth it after that rookie deal and that extension? Has he progressed enough? Maybe for
that's great analysis. Too bad he wasn't here to fucking say it.
Davis, you're getting called out. Get on the show, bud. Get on your show again. This round 1 segment still being brought to you by Taquito Express. Don't forget to catch us down there in August 19th to the 23rd. Taquito Express, all you can eat tacos starting at $7.99. And matter of fact, I know it's not NBA related, but if you can beat their record of how many tacos eaten, it's free.
Ooh,
I just
what's
found
the
that
record?
out. I think the record's 34 tacos.
Oh,
So
it's minor league.
I'm just saying, if you can
work.
do it. So, I mean, but then again, with 20 of us there, we might all be breaking the record and past each other, and then one of us is going to end up paying for the other. And that would be hilarious. Circling back to the NBA. All right, NBA playoffs are upon us. The NBA Finals is upon us. That's right. The Phoenix Suns have a 2-1 lead over the Milwaukee Bucks. Guys, I'm not going to count the Scott Foster game. Phoenix has been terrific. Chris Paul doesn't win with Scott Foster. I'm going to use the excuse. He doesn't win with Scott Foster. Who wins tonight? Who do you have? I'll start with you, Denny.
Well, I got a feeling the Bucks are going to go ahead and do the thing. They're going to push it into the next game 5. Now, let's remember something. The Bucks and the Phoenix Suns both were expansion franchises, 1968. But the biggest part of both of those franchises happened in 1969, and it was a coin flip. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he was then Lou Alcindor. He quickly became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He got to go to the Bucks. They won a title within 2 years, and they were back in the finals within 3 or 4 years. And the Phoenix Suns have never won a title. Here is their time. So I do got a feeling that the Bucks are going to stand up, win tonight, but the Phoenix Suns are going to go ahead and take that series. Little known fact, Neil Walk was the second pick in that draft behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He didn't score nearly as many points as Kareem did.
No.
You're like a walking sports almanac. Like I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
It was like that. Check this out. You're on a phone and you're hoping for the best, right? So you have, and the commissioner flips it and it comes down heads and he goes, tails. What the hell? Heads, you get Kareem. Tails, you get Neil Walk. That's what I heard. Jerry Colangelo was like, what the fuck? Don't turn it over. Don't turn it over. You never said you're going to turn it over, Commissioner. That was the difference between Kareem coming to you and Neil Walk. Yeah.
Luke, you got another. Denny, you got another fan out there. Luke says, "Love it, Denny. Keep it coming." I'm all about it too, guys. I think this is the Suns to lose. Honestly, I know the Bucks took one, but unless Giannis is going to go back to back 40-point games, the Bucks won't be in this game. My analysis here tells me it's going to be about an 8-point game swinging the Suns' way. The refs favor the Suns. They have not lost with this ref unit so far in the playoffs. I gotta admit, it sounds like the NBA is pushing towards a Chris Paul championship. In my opinion, I like to read between the lines more than I like to read the stats in the finals. At this point, it sounds like wrestling. Ash, what about you? Who do you have tonight?
That's a great comparison, Ernest. It does sound a lot like wrestling at this point between the two teams. I am going for the Bucks. I've been calling their games And I just think that a little miracle can always happen, and they have a solid team that have made it this far. Why not?
That's Ash right there. A little miracle can happen. Boy, you know what? And everybody knows it, right? I'm a Houston Rockets supporter. That's okay. I just don't want to see Giannis get his right now. I'm not ready to admit I'm okay with Giannis getting his. That's okay though. I can admit it. I'm a biased analyst towards that. Let's switch gears and talk about something non-biased though. The latest trade rumors, big trade rumors coming out today is a Damian Lillard Ben Simmons swap. Guys, we're calling this a heater because once it went out, it grew like wildfire. Matter of fact, Reg, one of the BCMG gamers and one of our longtime show supporters, Reginald Huggins, former trivia contestant, did say that how much traction does this really have? So we dug into it, and we found out there is some news to it. And of course, is it a surprise that it's Daryl Morey? I mean, is there a surprise that Daryl Morey's behind a blockbuster trade? So I'm going to ask you guys, who gets better from this and why? So I'm going to start this off with you, Denny. Do the Blazers get better or do the Sixers get better if this were to happen?
Whoever has Ben Simmons gets worse. Here's the thing. Dame can shoot better from the logo than Ben can from the free throw line. You're going to be a liability to your team forever if you cannot shoot free throws. And Ben, he hasn't had the ability to show that he can do that or lead. And it's a massive contract. I don't even know why I don't know. Maybe that cat that follows the Trailblazers around is like a black cat and is getting in somebody's head, because that's not a good idea for them to swap this out.
Yeah, that contract is atrocious, if I have to be completely honest. It's one of the main reasons why a Rockets trade didn't happen. Paul, are you siding with this too?
Oh my God, that's a terrible trade. And just to put this in perspective and to go a little bit on Danny, like me and my buddy were talking about shooting free throws, and I bet him that I could shoot higher than 30% with my left hand. And I went out and I made 4 or 10 with my left hand. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not like a super athlete, like super basketball guy or anything like that. I'm definitely not the number one NBA pick shooting 30% from the free throw line. Like, and I mean, don't get me wrong, Simmons' defense is great, but that's not the NBA anymore. It's scoring. If Dame went to Philly, that puts him and Embiid, I mean, they're dropping 85 a night.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I'll just show these highlights as we're talking about it. So when we're looking at the Damian Lillard trade, the worry I think for some is, does Damian Lillard, the worry about the unsuccessful playoff runs worry you at all, right? Because Ben's been a part of some deeper playoff runs than what Dame would have been a part of. With admittedly, I think the Blazers might have had a more supportive cast too. So. I guess maybe the talk then comes, all right, CJ McCollum or Joel Embiid, right? That's the question next.
That's not a question.
Deeper past that, though, you can make an argument the Blazers have been a little bit more stacked underneath that. So I guess the question is, postseason-wise, I don't know if that makes the 76ers better, but talent-wise, it definitely makes the 76ers better. Ash, are you a fan of Dame in Philadelphia?
Well, yeah, like Denny said and Paul, if whoever takes Ben Simmons is probably going to be the loser, and that's going to just be the outcome, what it really is. You compare them side by side, and they really just don't even compare. So, yeah, definitely whoever gets Ben would be taking that L.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I don't like ever since Ben kind of choked in these last playoffs, I haven't really been on the wagon of Ben Simmons. Maybe catch me last offseason, I would be debating this a little bit more, but not looking good. Let's talk about another team kind of trying to figure out what they want to do, and that's the Houston Rockets, right? Houston Rockets end up with the lottery pick. They don't lose it to Oklahoma City. They have the number 2 pick, Jalen Green at their fingertips or Evan Mobley at their fingertips. I'm still debating myself if I'm part of the Green gang or if I'm part of the Mobley mob. But they're all in on Cade. And so rumor has it that Houston is putting packages together to jump up to number 1 and jump up 1 pick. Guys, Is it worth it to go after Cade Cunningham? Is he really that perennial all-star? Or would you go for somebody who's been arguably like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, his mindset and the scorer capability in Jalen Green? I'll start this one off with you, Denny.
Yeah, I do like Jalen Green a lot. I don't see him as, putting up the kind of numbers that Kobe did, nor do I see, Cade Cunningham as the first pick. Obviously, I'm biased because I got to see a lot of Evan Mobley all the way through high school and through college, and I just see the biggest upside with him. But look, Houston Rockets, they seem to do a pretty decent job of staying relevant. That's what I'll give them, because they seem to stay relevant most of the time, and that speaks to management. So I'm sure they did their homework. But again, if I had the number 1 pick, I'm going Evan Mobley.
So that's very interesting. And you say Evan Mobley. I know you have that West Coast bias there, but
yeah, that's true.
Evan Mobley, right? A lot of people compare him as being a young.
He's dead.
Sorry, did you guys hear me now?
Oh, there he is. He's back. He's alive.
Okay,
maybe.
All right. I don't know what's happening. You guys. Let me start over here. So you got that West Coast bias with Evan Mobley, and you see it though. A lot of people have given a comparison of a young KD. Is that what you see with Evan Mobley?
I do. He doesn't have the perimeter game quite yet. That can come around. There's a lot of players that didn't have the perimeter game, but it's pretty difficult to, that kind of athleticism. You're just not going to teach that. And he also has a real unique feel for the game that I've seen him on occasion. And I just think he's going to make any team, a whole lot better. Also, you got to remember the Houston Rockets started out here in San Diego. They're the San Diego Rockets back in the day.
That was going to be a trivia question. I'm so glad I did not pick it.
Boom.
So glad I didn't pick it. Paul, I'll start this with one question, and then maybe Denny will chime in too. But you have, and maybe you already answered it, you have Evan Mobley, Jalen Green, Cade Cunningham up there, right? Is it smart for Houston to put all their eggs in a basket and go after Cade? Is he that special of a player?
I mean, I watch a lot of Big 10 or Big 12 basketball. So, I guess I'm kind of biased towards Cade, but like, I don't know. I don't think you're sad at all if you're in the top 4 picks. I think all 4 of those guys are going to be stars at the NBA level, and I don't think that you can go wrong either way. To DL's point, I was kind of out on Mobley. Like, I didn't know about him, and then I watched the NCAA tournament, and that kind of changed me on him. I'm very impressed, but I'm a big Jalen Green guy. I think that Jalen Green is the prototype of what the NBA is doing. And I think he's going to be a superstar.
I completely agree with that. And Ash, before I get your take on this, San Antonio Chris, friend of the show, good friend of mine, IRL. I don't see KD. I see more of Chris Bosh. I absolutely see that. Matter of fact, I have a board right next to me that has Chris Bosh's name all over him. Which Houston, of course, was all about Chris Bosh, so it wouldn't surprise me if they really wanted to go that direction. Yeah. But that's why you have a Christian Wood type in Houston. So I don't know if the Twin Towers aspect is going to work in Houston with 2 young guns. But I will say this, as AJ's making me laugh, that I am all in on Jalen Green right now for Houston. I think that's the smart pick. After watching his interview and watching his highlights and seeing the route he's taking, he believes in himself. And I've told this about other guys, and I'm going to say it in real life here too. If you believe in yourself, that's about half the battle right there, right? And he has the athleticism. That's 30% of the rest. It's really the 20% skill that you have left, and I think he has it. So I think that's the guy. But I wouldn't be upset with Cunningham, Suggs, or Mobley at number 2. And really, I would be upset with Suggs at number 2. I hope they trade down and take Suggs, but that's a different conversation. So, Ash, I see you got your co-host there with us. We are excited. AJ making her appearance. Hi, AJ.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Into the lobsters.
Hi. Look, AJ, I got your debut banner. Look, check this out. Live interview with AJ Garcia.
Big time.
Welcome. All right, AJ, I've got a special request for you. I got 2 questions for you, okay? All right. Who is faster, the turtle or the rabbit?
Which one?
The rabbit.
The rabbit is faster? And if you had to pick between you and your mom, who is the turtle, who's the rabbit? Who is the turtle?
I'm the rabbit.
You're the rabbit and your mom's the turtle? Okay, all right. I got to show you something, AJ.
That's fair.
I got to show you something, okay? I'm going to show you a live video that happened, all right? And I'm going to show you a race between a turtle and a rabbit, okay? And I want you to tell me what you think. Okay? All right, here we go. Here we go. Stay with me, AJ. Stay with me. I'm going to bring this up for you. Check this out. Can we all see this?
Yes.
All right, here we go. And they're off to the races. There they go. Who's winning?
The turtle.
Which one's winning right now?
The turtle.
Oh, there goes the turtle.
Turtle. The turtle.
Where's the rabbit going?
What's he doing?
Yeah.
There he comes.
What happened?
Oh my goodness.
The turtle won.
The turtle smoked it.
AJ.
Smoked it.
AJ. The turtle won by a mile, AJ.
How are not more pro teams named after turtles?
I have no idea. AJ, what
Right.
happened? I thought the rabbit was going to win. So your mom,
Down.
does your mom always win? Is that what you said that?
Mm.
Mama.
That's good. That's good parenting.
That's very
Don't
good.
let her win until she earns it.
I'll tell you what, AJ, I'm going to give you one last easy question. Who's your favorite basketball team?
The Bucks.
The
The Spurs.
She's been watching the playoffs, obviously.
I see that now. Ash, we now know you know your stuff. Well,
Gotta give it
AJ, I'm gonna give you one last thing here. You know, congratulations on your debut on ITL. We look forward to having you on again.
Say thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Bye, AJ.
It's out. Say I'm out.
She doesn't want to leave the limelight.
Oh, she can stay then. She can stay. Let her stay. Denny, I think you're absolutely right. Why don't we have more
Right.
turtle mascots? It makes
When you
more
think
sense.
about it, like there's so much there. Like
Yeah.
you could go all the way back to the Fable. You could have that. Think of that playing in a big arena right now with the San Antonio Turtles, and you and you play that in the arena. The place should go nuts when they see the turtle win.
Absolutely,
Right.
I think so.
Yep.
And you literally, like Philadelphia, trusting the process. It was so slow. You literally could have been a turtle. So I mean,
Right.
that could have been the entire
Right.
thing.
Right. And you don't even know with the Philadelphia, the 76ers. I mean, what are the, which century are we talking about? Because I know 1976, we had some fun, but maybe they're talking about that. I don't really know. 1876, we killed Reconstruction. And 1776, who really, like, I don't know. They should change it. If you Philadelphia Turtles. Or you can call them the Tortoises.
Tortoises.
Yeah.
Tortoises.
The
Tortoises.
Tortoise.
Definitely the
You could,
tortoise.
and then you could actually serve that at the snack stand.
Yeah,
and
that
make
sounds
you
like
double your bucks.
that sounds like,
Tortoise.
yeah, it sounds like a really good tater tot or a really good
Yeah.
tortellini, something like that.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that takes us to our featured segment. Denny is here and only here for this. I'm going to let you compete against the two girl co-hosts with us, as well as Just Paul. That's right. We have NBA trivia, ITO NBA trivia. Guys, this is our first exhibition of the season. We're excited to bring trivia to you. So here's how it's going to go. I am going to put a question on the screen, and I am going to give you 4 answer choices. I'm only going to say them once. All right? Think about the answers, and then give me your answer, and we'll keep a point system. There really is no winner or loser, but of course, Denny, like Denny says,
Right.
he will have
Yeah,
bragging rights
yeah.
when he comes
The
back.
tortoises must win.
Right. Right.
Do you just blurt out the answer, or do you wait for
Yeah,
you to call it?
I will call you. I'll go in order. I'll do Paul, Denny,
Oh,
Ashley, and then I'll
gotcha.
do Denny, Ashley, Paul. Then I'll
Okay,
mix
gotcha.
it all up. That's
All
right.
right.
All right.
All right.
For some reason, your acronym comes up to DAP, so that's kind of funny. All right, here we go.
Tortoises.
What?
No.
Question number 1: What team won the very first NBA game? A, the Toronto Huskies. B, the Chicago Stags. C, the New York Knicks. or D, the Philadelphia Warriors? Paul, I start with you.
B.
He's going B, the Chicago Stags. Denny.
That'd be Toronto. Pull that one out.
Denny is going with the Toronto Huskies. Ashley and AJ.
We're going to go with C.
They're going with the New York Knicks, and the girls start off on top. That is right. The New York Knicks defeated the Toronto Huskies 68.
I thought Chris Bosh was for 20 and 10 that night. Okay.
Right.
All right, guys. That means Ashley and AJ are winning 1-0-0. We go to question number 2. What NBA player scored 100 points on March 2nd, 1962? A, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. B, Wilt Chamberlain. C, Elgin Baylor. Or D, Bill Russell? I'll start with Denny.
Well, Kareem could have done it. So could have Elgin. They're that talented. But it was Wilt. He did it in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Put up a solid 100. There was no video that night. Luckily, some reporter near him put 100 on a score pad, and he held it up like that, and that's how we know he actually scored 100.
Wow, that's actually a really good fact. I had no idea. Ash, AJ.
We're going to go with A for Ash and AJ.
They're going to go with Kareem anyway. They think your story's full of it, Denny. Paul.
Yeah, good.
No, he's 100% right. I mean, that famous photo is just it's right there. He's right.
For a
It's
minute,
B.
I thought you were saying the girls were right, and I was about to laugh even harder. All right, that means the score is tied 1-1-1. But hold the phone, guys. We have a bonus question. Who can guess closest how many points Wilt's team scored that night? Denny.
121.
Ashley and AJ.
What number? Pick a number.
Darn it.
100.
100 and what?
20.
120.
They go 120. They're undercutting Denny's pick. Paul.
That's like the Price is Right. This is getting exciting.
Hey, you know what I'm going to do, Ernest? I'm going to go 122.
Wow, you go in the other side. They surround Denny. Actual retail price is 169, and that gives Paul the extra point. So Paul leads 2-1-1 for the sports scientist.
Well played,
That's
Paul.
hilarious. This is getting more competitive than I thought it was going to be.
Paul, a high five.
Question number 3.
Miss Bob Barker.
Who was the first? Yeah, I really do too. Who was the first player in NBA history to be elected league MVP by unanimous vote? A, Magic Johnson. B, Michael Jordan. C, Stephen Curry. Or D, LeBron James? I start with Ashley and AJ.
A, B, C, or D?
A.
A. We're going to go with A.
They are going with Magic Johnson. Paul.
I'll take Jordan. I really don't know. This is a good one.
Paul's going with Michael Jordan. He's stumped. Denny.
I'm going to go Steph Curry. They won 73 games. They took the best record in the history of the league. And how does the best player on the best team that sets the all-time record not get it? Unanimous. I'm going to go Steph Curry.
You're absolutely correct. It is Steph Curry. Danny pulls into a tie with Paul. I will say this, that is the only MVP he deserved. We'll move on to question number 4. All right. What new kind of shot did Joe Fulks score a record 63 points with in one game in 1949? A, the jump shot. B, the hook shot. C, the three-point shot. Or D, the jump shot? I start with Paul.
We had the jump shot twice in there.
Yeah, the jump shot, the hook shot, the three-point shot, and the free throw.
Oh,
I thought you said the jump shot again. I'll take the hook shot. Why not?
Paul's going with the hook shot. Denny.
Since tequila shot was not an option, I'm going jump shot. Jump shot.
He's going jump shot. Ashley and AJ.
Go. What are you picking? Maui. So she said the hook shot.
The hook oh, wow. That's a good one.
They stay strong with Kareem. It's good.
That's a mom interpretation right there if I've ever heard one. Denny takes the cake with the jump shot, and Denny pulls ahead 3-2-1.
What the hell did they do before that?
Right.
Just stood there?
Layups and the granny shot.
Right. I know. Think if he could time travel, I would go back to 1948 basketball and dominate.
Right.
Everything. Slap the backboard. Everybody freak out. Yep.
Right.
I'll give anybody a point if you can tell me who it was against.
Who did he play for?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't even know. Who?
I'm going to say it was against the Cincinnati Royals.
Paul, you want to take a stab at it, or you want to let this one go?
I have no idea.
All right, the Indianapolis Jets. The Indianapolis Jets. Yep, we all
Yes.
remember that game.
Love
All
that
right.
Jet team.
Yeah.
Number 5. The score right now, by the way, Denny
Right.
3, Paul 2, Ashley and AJ 1. It's a close game. We're at the halfway point.
Oh, that was
Number
4,
5.
Right.
I never even
Yeah.
put number 4 on the board. All right, number 5. Who scored the first 3-point basket in NBA history? 1, Gene Stump. 2, Chris Ford. 3, Larry Bird. Or D, Wes Unseld. I start this one off with Denny.
Who was B again?
Chris Ford.
Yeah, it was him. It couldn't have been the stumpy guy.
All right, he's going B. Chris Ford. Ashley.
Who was he again? Larry Bird? Larry Bird. We're
Yeah.
going with Larry Bird.
They're going Larry Bird. They're going with familiarity over there. Paul.
I'll go opposite of Danny. I'll go A. I don't know. It's got to be one of them.
The stumper would have to have an outside game. It's good logic.
Right.
There.
He's going with Gene Stump. The answer is Chris Ford. So Denny got it right on the money
All right.
there. Denny
I think
now
a North Carolina boy. I think he was a North Carolina boy.
4-2-1 at the halfway point.
I think it's 5. Isn't
I
it?
know. It's all right. It's West Coast bias. I get it.
I'll tell you this. Give me let's see. Who? So there was in one of the answer choices. It was their rookie debut. All right. So either Gene Stump, Larry Bird, or Wes Unseld had a rookie debut. Name me who that was for an extra point, Denny.
What's a rookie debut mean?
Their first game. First game pro.
Oh, the first game they ever played was as a pro?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and who are the options again, please?
Gene Stump, Larry Bird, and Wes Unseld.
I'm going to have to go with Stump on this one.
He's going Gene Stump. I'm going to give Ash a moment. Paul.
I'm going to continue to roll the stump here. Like,
He's going.
Why wouldn't you?
you know what I mean?
Stump
He's got to
as
do
well.
something.
Ash,
Yeah.
you want to give this one a chance?
I think he was in the Wizard of Oz too.
I have no idea.
Just say A, C, or D. Just give me a one.
Who was A again?
A is
C
Gene
or
Stump,
D?
C is
Kareem.
Larry Bird, and
Say
D is
Kareem.
Wes Unseld.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go for D.
She's going D. It actually is Larry Bird's debut. So nobody gets a point.
He played at Indiana State.
Yeah.
Wow, I went against my own first
that's-
choice.
Oh,
That was his pro debut with the Celtics.
oh, I see. It was
I
a
got
follow-up.
you. I got you. No,
Okay.
I got you now.
That's Ernie. All right.
All right. Here we go. Denny with 4, Paul with 2, Ash with 1, who had an early lead but gave it up. Here we go. Number 6. Who was the youngest player to score 10,000 points in the NBA? A, Michael Jordan. B, Kobe Bryant. C, Wilt Chamberlain. Or D, LeBron James. I'll start this one off with Ash.
Who was B again?
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant. No. And who was A again?
Michael Jordan.
I'm gonna go with C then.
She's going with Wilt Chamberlain. Paul, you're up.
LeBron.
He's going LeBron. Denny.
LeBron James.
It is absolutely LeBron James. LeBron James for the win right there. LeBron James, first to score 10,000 at 23 years of age. 23 years of age. Pretty incredible.
He wasn't tucking his jersey in a high school game. I saw him play at Pauley Pavilion out here in Los Angeles, and I yelled from the stands until the modern-day coach told the ref to make him tuck in his jersey. That's my claim to fame. Right there.
Danny Lanning protecting the integrity of the game for everybody out there.
That's right.
5-3-1 is the score. Denny leading by a comfortable margin, but questions 7, 8, and 9 are worth 2 points each. So guys have a chance to catch up here.
There we go.
Number 7, what team owns the longest winning streak in NBA history? And Paul, we start with you. A, Miami, B, Chicago, C, Golden State, or D, Los Angeles?
Golden State.
He's going to go with the Golden State Warriors. That's the letter choice C. Denny.
That would be the team that I saw practice as an 8-year-old, up right 4 miles from where I'm sitting right now. The 1972 Los Angeles Lakers, who won 33 straight games. Now, after they put on that 33 straight games, I went over to Der Wiener Schnitzel, paid for my mustard dogs, and got a commemorative picture to signify that the Los Angeles Lakers won 33 games in a row.
There you go.
Denny is taking a guess on the Los Angeles Lakers.
Exactly.
I'm going to take the same stab at it and go with the Los Angeles Lakers. Denny knows best, right?
You're absolutely right. With that approach for this question, you're absolutely right. You both are correct, Paul. You're going to take a tie with Ash right now, tied at 3 points apiece. Denny jumps to a comfortable 4-point lead.
Look at those socks. That's when men were men. They pulled up their socks.
Let me feature you, Denny. Look at that.
See that? Look at that. Look at how they pulled up their socks. Very important.
That's where the men would hike up the shorts and bring up the socks, boys and girls. That's correct.
That is right.
We have an incoming referee, and Dre Rogers. He has joined the cast. Dre is going to be refereeing and making sure you aren't using your cell phones. Ash, we can't see your camera, but we will hack if we need to. Number 8, here we go. Denny with 7, Paul and Ash at 3. Dre is the referee. 2 points per question for 8 and 9. Here we go. Question number 8. What player was known as the Clown Prince of the Harlem Globetrotters? A, Deuce Tatum. B, Meadowlark Lemon. C, Marquise Haynes. Or D, Fred Curly Neal. And we start with Ash on this question.
You're gonna have to come back around, please.
All right, we're coming back around. Paul, you're starting this one.
B.
You say B as in boy?
Yeah, B as in boy.
Paul is guessing Meadowlark Lemon. I'm gonna go with you, Denny.
Paul's on point here. It was Meadowlark. He could drop a hook shot from half court, no problem. Marcus Haynes would put on a dribbling show that I could copy in my backyard. You could spin the ball off of each finger. I used to be able to do that back in the day. But the Crown Prince, that was Meadowlark Lemon.
Absolutely. Dre, if you want to play substitute for Ashley, you're more than welcome to. If Ash can't come on, do you want to sub in and be the guest pick for this one?
Dre's attacked by a rabid monkey right now. He can't come on either.
You know what else?
Ash is looking for a handout.
You know what else is a good one? The bucket that you thought was of water, but it wasn't. It was confetti. Yep.
Confetti.
Yep.
No Dre either. We're gonna do a pass on this one. Give him 1 point. So Ash goes up to 4 just because of technical purposes. It was Meadowlark Lemon, which puts Paul at 5 and Denny at 9. Denny's running away.
I never understood how the Globetrotters couldn't beat every team in the NBA because he could just stay at half court and knock down the hook shot all game long. How do you stop that? You can't stop that. He made it every single time. And then once they got ahead, Marcus Haynes could just dribble the clock out. So I never understood how the Globetrotters couldn't just win every NBA title.
Meadowlark played over 16,000 games for the Globetrotters. Fun fact. Another fun fact, though. Who was it? It was the name. Wilt Chamberlain, when they asked him in his Hall of Fame inductee, said who was the best player of all time. He said it was Meadowlark Lemon. That's Meadowlark Lemon. That's who he said was the best player he's ever seen. So, fun facts there. Dre dropped off for technical reasons. That's fine. We're gonna move on. Question number 9, worth 2 points. Denny at 9, Paul at 5, Ashley at 4. We got ourselves a game and trivia here, guys. Question 9: who is the all-time leading scorer in men's college basketball? A, Freeman Williams. B, Larry Bird. C, Pete Maravich. Or D, Stephen Curry. And we start with Denny on this one.
That would be Pistol Pete Maravich out of Louisiana State. When his father used to drive him to and from practice, he had to dribble the ball out of the car. And if he messed up and he lost the ball out of the car, get out, you dribble home, son. So he learned how to dribble that ball. It allowed him to get to all parts of the court, and he put up the most points in NCAA history.
All right, Paul, going to you. No, I agree. And, I mean, just imagine he didn't even have a three-point line.
Yes.
I mean, he would have been, way out there. Yeah.
Perfect. And Ash, I'm gonna do a check here. You back with us?
Yes.
All right. Who do you have? A, B, C, or D? Do you want to go with Pistol Pete, or are you going with the others?
No, I'm going with Pistol Pete because that reminds me of a little pizza shop back in town, and it was called I don't know, but Pistol Pete was their mascot, and I just can't wait to
nice. Nice. I like hearing
Love
that.
it. All three of you get the point. So Ashley moves up to 6 points. Paul is at 7. And Denny staying at 11, well above the pack right there. 4-point lead. I am going to give a 3-point bonus question here. How many games did Pistol Pete Maravich play for LSU? Just play, not start, but play for LSU. I'll start with you, Denny.
Well, let's see. He would have been a freshman ineligible time. They probably would have played. They didn't go deep into the tournament every year. So I'd give him 25. I'd say 75 games he played.
All right.
Yeah, 75 games.
Closest answer gets the points. All right. So Denny goes 75. Paul, I'm going to you next.
76.
Yeah.
I know
no. Because I was trying to think. Because you're right. The freshmen couldn't play, and then they didn't have like regionals and stuff. They only had like 16 or 8
teams would make. Yep.
I'm gonna go 68 games.
He's going lower. He's going 68. Ash.
I'm gonna go lower and say 63.
Actual retail price is 83. So Denny got closest.
Wow.
83
How did he
games.
get that many games in? Jeez.
Yep, 83 games. And so
That's impressive in 3 years.
with that, in 3 years. So with that being said, Denny now goes up to 14. Paul is at 7. And Ash is at 8. And luckily, wait, Ash is at 8? No, Ash is at 6. Ash is at 6. So luckily, this question is worth 9 points. So whoever wins this question is going to end up winning the whole darn thing. All right, guys.
That's like a Dame Lillard shot.
This is a nail biter. Nail biter.
Right.
All right.
Question number 10. Who was the coach when the Houston Rockets went on a 22-game winning streak? All right, we're starting this one with Ash, and here are your answer choices. A, Kevin McHale. B, Ty Lue. C, Rick Adelman. Or D, Tracy McGrady.
Rudy Tomjanovich is not an option? Damn it. He's the only one who won any championships there. Who's starting?
All right, Ash, you're up.
Okay. We're gonna go with B.
She's going with B. All right, Paul, who do you choose?
Give me C. I'll go with Rick Adelman.
He's going with C, Rick Adelman. Denny, who's your choice?
I think Rick Adelman had his best days in Portland, didn't he? Let me think here. I hate having to give any Celtic any credit whatsoever, but I'll go with Kevin McHale.
He's going with Kevin McHale. We are across the board here going with Paul at Rick Adelman. Denny with Kevin McHale. Ash with Ty Lue. And boy, do we know it is not Tracy McGrady. So we're not even talking about that. The winner of this question and the bragging rights. And Kenny's saying that's the Battier Rockets, right? That is definitely up there with Yao and Tracy. And he's absolutely right. It is Rick Adelman for the win. 22-game win streak with the Rockets, who didn't have T-Mac the whole time, who lost Yao in the middle of it, went on their immaculate run for 22 games.
How did I know I was going to get texted here?
Paul with the come-from-behind win again for the IPL Sports
Man.
in the 9-point clutch question.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's start with the winner. Paul, how do you feel? I
feel I guess I feel like I cheated there with I'm gonna the 9-point question. I mean, we got work the whole time, you know what I mean? So I'll brag over Ashley when I see Ashley down at the expo. I'll tell her that I will, but I'll leave it. I'll say Danny won this. You know what I mean?
You should have a celebration party at the governor's mansion in Galveston. I know that. I've been there.
Nobody's there right now, so we'll be able to have a place to ourselves. Danny, you led this thing like you were the Golden State Warriors on a 3-2 mission, and you got blocked by LeBron at the last second. How do you feel right now?
Well, I should have known my Rick Adelman history. I really that's on me. Next time I'll come in, I'll study up on Rick Adelman. Yeah,
Rick Adelman.
I'll tell you what, you were amazing, Danny. Matter of fact, I learned much more from you than I did building the trivia, so it was fantastic. Ash, how do you feel? You led in the very beginning. Matter of fact, you had a comfortable lead in the very beginning when you were up 1-0. How do you feel losing that momentum?
Well, Ernest, I mean, I know Lily is very young of age right now, but once you experience toddler tantrums, then you'll really understand how the league can just slip out of your fingers in no time.
Wow. Yeah, I completely agree. A special thank you to you and AJ, especially AJ, because she was a good sport when she came on. I loved her debut. But Ash, we will have to catch you up on the next time, and we'll do your sign off right now. Guys, that is today's episode. I couldn't have asked for a better episode. Every time you're on, Denny, it's just lit up here, and we have such a great time. I know you have a lot in the works, and I want you to do self-publication. So tell everybody where they can find you and how they can find your stuff.
Or at Sports Stories DL is, me on Twitter. That's also our Facebook site, our website. Go to sportsstoriesdl.com and everything's there. There is a few things I'm working on lately that are going to be fun. So I'm coming out with something on Dana and David Pump, who redefined West Coast basketball and then the game of college basketball. Also something on Juju Watkins, the Sports Illustrated Kid of the Year for 2020. She's a top-rated prospect in the class of 2023, and that one's coming out in August as well. So hopefully everybody will check that one out. And I got a few other things. Even, on my website now, I'm working with a guy named Harvey Kubernick. He's written 20 books on rock history, and he's releasing some little-known interviews with some of the greats of rock history on my website just to be a nice guy. So there's plenty on the website. It's sportsstoriesdl.com. I think people will enjoy some of the stuff I got there.
I will vouch for all you 600 Lapsters who tune in every week, for all of you thousands who give us a chance and watch us and listen to this crazy stuff. Go check out Denny's site. Go check out Denny's stuff. Read those articles. Again, 2-time Telly winner. I'm not going to forget it, Denny. 2-time Telly winner, and just an amazing personality. And if you have the chance,
you, buddy.
If we ever have the chance to meet in person, Denny, I will personally buy you a beer. Absolutely.
Oh, now we're going to have to meet. I would say that when it got to the Final Four of the NBA, I wrote a blog on each of the teams, and those are on my blog. And I really didn't tell you a whole lot about this year's team. I told you about the backstory and the history, how they came to be. And so, 1 in every 10 people enjoy that history stuff. So if you want to go over there and get a little backstory on all the franchises that were in the Western and Eastern Conference Finals, they're there too.
Denny, when we publicly push this tomorrow, I'll attach that website on there and that link. That way people can jump that way. Fantastic. Denny, Lennon, everybody, we're very excited to have you on. Thank you so much for joining us. Stick around so we can say goodbye right after the podcast. Just Paul, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me over at bluecollarmg.com. I'll get back into it now. I'll have daily gambling articles out once baseball starts back up. Then we're getting into some football. You can catch me every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock on Shoot or Shoot Pod with my co-host Kenny. And, of course, I'm on here all the time. But definitely check out Denny's stuff. I mean, he's great. A lot of knowledge, a lot of fun. The articles are quick, easy to read. You guys would really enjoy it. Definitely give him a check out. Every time he's on here, we just laugh the whole time. I mean, even before we get on camera, it's just hilarious time. So definitely go over there and check him out and, support our guy.
Appreciate you, Paul. Thank you.
Abso-freaking-lutely. And I'm not going to forget the sweetest voice of ITL. But Ash, before you do your sign off, who was this show brought to us by? Are you tantrum free? I guess that's the question. I guess that would be it. That would be the better question.
I'm good. Sorry.
All right.
So this episode is brought to us by our favorite Taquito Express in the beautiful Brownsville, Texas. For all you can eat, $7.99 tacos. Don't miss it. as always, we cannot wait to be down there in Brownsville, all chucking down some $7.99 all you can eat taco. I think that's gonna be the next contest is a taco eating contest. So let's do
32, 32. It's going down.
That might just replace one of the events, a taco eating contest, having us all lined up and just having a film on all of us. We don't have to say anything. We all could just be eating until we all pass
I'm
out.
gonna go chestnut on it.
Like hand behind the back or
kinda
one
down.
hand
I'm
or your
kinda down.
opposite hand.
I'm
Yeah.
really kind of down. Again, I'm your host, Ernest Doc E. Silva, or at the Sport Jeans, my personal page that's inactive, but you can go on there and follow it for fun. You can find us at Into the Lab Pod, where you can catch us Wednesday nights live, like you see us today. We'll be Thursday night live, July 29th for the draft, though. We'll be having live coverage. Again, guys, we're going down for the BCMG retreat. We're going to have some fun down there. If you're in South Texas, you follow us. Come out and find us. You'll be seeing a lot of social pushes. Hashtag Road to Texas is what we're doing. You'll catch the Silver Surfers in prime action, as well as the rest of the fantasy teams we'll be announcing, and we'll have a bunch of graphics. Thank you guys so much for being a Labster. Thank you guys to the sports scientist, and of course, Denny, our special guest, for being on tonight. We look forward to seeing you guys. Good luck if you guys are making any bets on the draft. Hopefully, we helped you out a little bit with these guys that we covered today. Have a great night. And again, be safe and have fun this weekend. Bye-bye, guys.